Hey, welcome back to the channel, fellow boomers. Let me ask you something. You ever felt drained, tense, or emotionally exhausted just because of watching the news and the current political situation? Well, if you've done that, you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you, because a lot of people are burnt out on that. We're living in a time right now where outrage is constant, headlines are designed to alarm, and it seems like every issue that you see is framed that we need to make an immediate emotional reaction to it, right? So for many boomers, this creates a sense of fatigue that goes deeper than disagreement. You don't have to, it's beyond that you don't agree with the politics that you're seeing on TV. It just feels like your nervous system never gets a break. The truth is, you were never meant to carry the emotional weight of all this bad news, right? Is basically the weight of this nation's problems all on your shoulders. That's what it feels like a lot of times. Being informed doesn't mean being consumed, right? One of the most resilient things you can do right now is back off on that. Back off. Now, I'm going to give you a little technique that I learned 30 years ago almost. And this is from Dr. Andrew Weil. I used to get his newsletter, and he talked about a news fast. Now, at the time I heard this, I was on the road as a professional speaker. And the first thing that I would do when I got up in the morning was kick on the TV, turn on headline news, and listen to all these bad, sensationalized headlines, right? There's nothing worse for you than feeding your mind with negativity, shocking violence, and just bad news, because that's what it is. It's sensationalized news first thing in the morning. So I learned about a news fast. Now you have to understand, I was a news junkie at that point. I could not get enough of the news. I consumed it continually. But here's the thing that I found. It does affect your psyche. It can have a negative effect on how you feel. So what I did was I took his advice and I did a news fast, and I had to do it slowly. And that meant not watching the news maybe for 2 days straight, and then increasing that. And it got to the point where I didn't watch news. And to be honest, up until the pandemic, I did not turn on a news program for almost 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years, something like that. Maybe over 20 years. And it made a huge difference in my life. Here's the thing that people worry. Well, they say to me, it's like, well, Tim, what about you're missing what's going on in the world? You're missing the news. No, I'm not. Because the things that I need to hear, I'm going to hear online. The major stories, they're going to show up on YouTube. They're going to show up on Facebook. They're going to show up on every major media platform, social media platform out there. So I'm not going to miss anything. But when you're focused on a half hour of bad news every single night, I guarantee you it's going to work on your mind in a very negative way. So what I encourage you to do is try a news fast. The only time I went back to the news was during the pandemic, when I got COVID at the very outset of the pandemic. And so I started following the news after I got out of the ICU, because I wanted to know what this bug was doing. But after that pandemic was over, I stopped watching the news again. I went back to doing the news fast. Now, this may work for you, or it may not work for you. It may not, you may be so inclined to want to watch the news, and that's fine if it's not impacting you negatively. But I encourage you to take a break from it. If you take a break from it, you will see a difference. I have a feeling I know what I experienced was I was a lot more calm. I didn't get so upset, because if you want to watch divisive politics, just turn on the news at any given time, right? And that'll raise your blood pressure. It's just not healthy, especially if you react to the news like some people do. Like, there's somebody very close to me I can't watch a news program with. When I'm over at her house, she just groans and grunts and groans at the news, like she has some effect on it, right? So that's not good. That's just simply not good. It's just contributing to negativity in your mind. and how you think about the world. The media is skewed to begin with. That's a whole nother topic. I won't get into that. But one of the most resilient things you can do is get away from that. And if you want to feel good, don't listen to things that aren't going to make you feel good. And for the most part, most news is bad and it's sensationalized. Now there's good, they usually put in a story on a nightly news of something good that happens to give you warm fuzzies at the end of the broadcast. But it's few and far between that you hear good news, because fear sells. Bad news sells much better than good news. So you're thinking, okay, Tim, what if I stop watching the news? You're not going to lose anything. I've told you, you're going to find what you need, the major events on other platforms. Like I said, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those platforms, you're going to find what you need. So people say, well, isn't this avoidance? Right? Aren't I just escaping from the problem? No, it's not avoidance and it's not escape. It is self-preservation. Your wisdom, your values, your life experience still matter, but they don't require you to stay emotionally activated 24/7, right? You're allowed to disengage from the noise so you can re-engage with what's important to you, what really matters to you in life, right? And you can re-engage what you can actually control or influence. Maybe you can't control it, but influence your relationships, your community, your health, your sense of calm. Something like this, protecting your emotional energy, doesn't make you apathetic. So don't think doing a news fast is going to make you apathetic and all of a sudden, I don't care. Right? You adopt that attitude where I just don't care anymore. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to get a different perspective, and I think you might find, like I do, that you prefer peace over the chaos of watching the news and all that negativity. So protecting your emotional energy, again, doesn't make you apathetic. It makes you resilient. Simple as that. And in a world that profits, literally profits from keeping you upset, choosing peace isn't weakness. It's strength. Pure and simple. So if you like this content, I encourage you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you don't want to miss any of the videos that I put out, currently I do one a week. I'm probably going to increase this to 2. Hit that notification bell down there also. And I'm going to give you, and also I would really love to hear your comments. I'd like to hear what you think about the topics that I'm talking about, whether you think they work for you, whether you've tried them, some of these techniques to make you more resilient, to calm you down. I love interaction. I love engaging with people on the platform. So any comments you have, I welcome them. All right. So remember, as always, resilience has nothing to do with age. Resilience is an attitude. I'll see you in the next one.